Hello everyone, today is quite a special day because it is today when we have the Lionsgate portal, but let us translate the energies from an astrological perspective, what is happening today, because things that do unfold over the course of today can be quite important, not just for this larger Venus retrograde period, let's even add the larger Mercury retrograde period, but also, for the coming months that are going to request from us some really important and, grounded decisions, choices, some of which are going to be legally binding due to the south node being in the sign of Libra, squared still by Pluto. So today we have an exact conjunction to the degree between Black Moon Lilith and Venus. Now this goes very well in the larger Venus retrograde period because Black Moon Lilith is that energy, because she's not a planet, she is more like a calculation, a degree point. So she is that energy which represents the primal urges, the primal feelings. In many astrological cultures, she is associated with a sensual, sexual, primal energy, while in other parts, in other astrological perspective, she is merely just another side, another aspect of the soul of the moon, which contains everything that is not necessarily unconscious, but primal, instinctual. She doesn't basically obey or respect anyone other than nature and instincts and the natural way of doing things. Now Venus, of course, is the principle of love and beauty and desire and everything that we would like to have, to embody in our lives, especially that Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus, and Taurus is also really important because today we have the conjunction of the moon and Jupiter in this part of the sky. So whatever we're feeling, especially what it is that we need in our lives, what would make us happy, what would satisfy our five senses, again Taurus. For many people, this also translates to either a physical energy or financial energy because that's the nature of Taurus. So this conjunction of the moon and Jupiter, so Jupiter also expands the moon, our feelings, our emotional configuration, our emotional response, and it does trine Mercury in the sign of Virgo, where Mercury deciphers it, Mercury understands it. Mercury is the lens of the rational, of the intellectual, of the mind, which translates to us what we're feeling and why we're feeling it like that. But unfortunately, or fortunately in some cases, the sun, the symbol of our identity, the symbol of our ego, the symbol of our self expression, home in the sign of Leo, squares the moon. So, this is where the truth that we are feeling deeply at this moment might not go all that well with the ego, with the sense of self, what we think or what we think we know, what we think we feel about ourselves. So the guidance immediately here is whatever it is that we're feeling, even if it triggers our ego in a, and this triggering can come in more than one ways. It's not necessarily an irritant, it's not necessarily something that we perceive as threat or challenge or just downs our self-expression, but for some people it can be the opposite. Recognition, Leo, the sign of fame. So, really positive, a wave of really positive feedback, a wave of encouragement. This is where you might be feeling very, very empowered in a self or ego respective sense. But the guidance is the same for everyone, to truly not make any choices, not to make any decisions based on this, because those decisions need to be made slowly as we progress under this Venus retrograde. So it is only when Venus not only stops her retrograde, so that would be the 3rd of September, I do imagine, I do recall, but also as she starts her way towards her shadow path, it is then when the decisions become more safe, more sound, more, grounded, that can serve us very well in the coming months and even years. Why not? Because this is a really big energy. And the other planets, Venus conjunct Black Moon Lilith, are also holding a very tight square with Uranus. So awareness is coming to you. You are reacting to stimuli. May that awareness be some kind of truth that wells up from within, because Venus retrograde. It can come from our hearts of hearts. Do I love it? Do I love a person? Do I love a job? Do I love an activity? Do I love how I'm treated? Do I, feel loved enough in whatever I have in our lives? So these are the questions that are being raised, and truth and awareness and a certain kind of clarity provided by Uranus, but in a rather shocking, in a rather stark, in a rather sudden way. But I must repeat, these can also be epiphanies that might be, flooding almost our awareness, our feelings, our heart. And Black Moon Lilith conjunct Venus wants to take these into consideration, and they want to take it seriously. But again, the guidance: pause with this. Do not let any truth or any awareness, no matter how Uranian, no matter how, awakening it might feel, force you to make a very sudden, radical decision in the now. Because in the coming days, for example, on the 16th of August, we do have a new moon in the sign of Leo, which squares Uranus with precision, but that's where it's also the sun. So again, the light of our consciousness, our identity, our ego, but also the moon, the soul, the feeling, and basically our past based on whatever it is that we went through emotionally speaking. And it is only then when this conjunction of the sun and the moon, the self, the ego, and also the soul, and of course the unconscious, becomes truly aware of this Uranian message. And that is the moment from which we can slowly but surely start these feelings decanting within us, settling down, crystallizing, leading up to a future decision, a future attitude, a future, rediscovery of the self that might be stemming from that new moon that we have in the sign of Leo on the 16th of August. So again, whatever epiphanies, whatever truth, whatever realizations, whatever, external reflection might enter our lives today and in the next couple of days, let us take it with calm. Let us take it from a balanced state where it is not really advised to take any radical, sudden, spontaneous, quick decisions and choices based on that, but it is rather advised for us to wait and allow them to, settle down, to decant within us. So I do hope that this was helpful. Thank you so much, and until next time.